Welcome to another edition of Let's Play Farming Simulator 2013 on The American Farm. Alright, so we got a couple things going on today. Let's just take a little jaunt over to our field over here. So this was our barley field, and it's been harvested, and we have this straw left. So we need to deal with the straw. So we got our New Holland 8970 over here with our baler. And he is ready to go. So we're going to go ahead and set him up. I guess I missed a little spot there. Going to go ahead and set him up. I already have a course ready for him to go. There we go. So he should be good to go. Let's just verify. He starts up our baler and does what he's supposed to do. Excellent. Perfect. So let's just leave him to do his thing, and he'll probably pop out quite a few bales based on previous experience, at least. Also, we have something else going on. I guess we'll just walk over there as well. We got our John Deere S690i. He's ready to start harvesting the oats that we have on the other field that we picked up. That's the new field that we picked up not too long ago. And it's ready to be harvested as well, so we're going to need to start it on that as well. So far, I haven't tried not fertilizing any of the fields. I think it was Craft Farms suggested that I not fertilize the fields. As I mentioned, I have a pretty compulsive nature to fertilize things, and unless I, can't fertilize it, then I probably wouldn't. But in this case, I definitely can. So that's the reason why I just go out of my way to do it in that manner. So I will try to remember to do it one time, not fertilizing at all, and see what happens. So let's go ahead and fire up our John Deere here. Here we go. Let's put it into work mode and set it on its merry way. There we go. This should be the right direction. If it's not, I'd be surprised. Yes, looks good. We're good. Excellent. So our John Deere is set off, and he should be okay for the time being. We're going to find out. I believe he's set up to do a headlands first. We'll find out in a second. Also, we need to set up our other New Holland, our T7550, I think it is. He's going to unload our oats into our silos. Quick little word. I realized that after placing the ramp last time round, that it was on this side over here, which makes it a bit more inconvenient because, oh, he's already to go. Makes it a bit more inconvenient because when I'm, for example, when I'm seeding this field or when I am doing anything else with this field, they might run right into it. So all I did is I just moved it over to the other side, and then I put the farm all over there with the mixing wagon. So they are ready to roll when we need them, basically. Let's just hop in our John Deere, make sure things are going as intended. We always got to make sure these things do work out the way they're supposed to, but they don't always, so it's not always what you would imagine would work out. Well, apparently he's not going to do what he's going to do, so there we go. That's why. Apparently I'm just blinded, didn't put the course on. So we're going to set him on his course, and then he should be okay. And I'm just going to tab over to the truck. So we got our truck waiting here, our Peterbilt. He's ready to start with the slurry. Now I had to do a little bit of searching is what it boils down to. I do have some tippers that could have worked, I guess is what I want to say. Where are they here? I think they're actually in tippers. Where are we here? Now I have these Quaco ones, and I tried them off camera with our Peterbilt, and they don't play along very nicely, unfortunately. So I'm not going to get those. I suppose I could use a dolly, but I have a semi. Why would I use a dolly in a tractor if I can use a semi truck? So we're not going to use those. Is it in here? No. Must be in slurry, I believe. So I picked up a couple other new mods just to deal with this. And here's the trailer we're going to use. It's a manure trailer. It says Gill transporter, which means manure transporter in German. Basically, you can spread manure or slurry with this, but we're not going to. We're just going to use it as a selling vehicle. So it costs 50 grand, basically $49.9. $100 off 50 grand. I do have another one. Is it in here? No. This one I don't think would work, and it's the same, has the same number of liters anyway, so it doesn't make a difference. Actually, this one's bigger, so it's actually bigger and cheaper. Let's go ahead and buy this, and we'll ask our local shop to drop that off for us. Thank you very much, sirs. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna do the first course, and then I'm just gonna set it so it does it by itself, because it would be a lot of driving, because there's a lot of slurry there. So I'm going to set up the first course. And I did check to see where you could sell it off camera. It says at the Nueva in the PDA, which I don't think there's any place called Nueva on this map, so that makes it a bit awkward. But what I did discover is it's the Cow Wow. That's what the place is where you sell the manure. Or this, well, the slurry at least. So let's just line her up. So I'm going to record the very first course, and just so I can show you guys where to sell the slurry if you are playing on the map too. Let's make sure I'm in the right spot. There we go. So I'll start recording there. And we want to make sure that we go past our fuel tank there, because I have a feeling he's going to need some fuel eventually. So we're going to go ahead and drive past our fuel tank just to make sure he tops up with our diesel fuel. There we go. And we're just going to take a little cruise. So it's kind of a distance away from our pig tank. So right now, our pig barn. So we have 545,000 liters of liquid manure at the moment. We don't get a very good price for slurry. That's fine. So this trailer costs us 50 grand, so we should make back the 50 grand solely based on the liquid manure. And technically, we could sell the liquid manure from our cows as well, if we chose to go that route. Alright, let's take a little right here. There we go. And I believe it's just off here to the left. So this isn't a bad looking trailer. It's not, it says good transport. Did I pass the cow out? No, not yet. So let's turn left here. Try and adhere to the 35 mile an hour speed limit. Not really. There's no cars, so it doesn't make a difference. You don't get tickets. Although I have played on other maps where if you do speed, you will get a ticket. On the Serbian farm, if you have the correct mods installed, you will get a ticket for going through a red light and stuff like that. I should have filled up. Why didn't I fill up? Oh man. So this is where you sell your slurry at the Cow Wow, which I guess they call the Nueva on the PDA for whatever reason. So, what happened there? So we're going to go ahead and set this up. Hopefully it works properly. We'll keep an eye on it. If it doesn't work properly after this first course, I'll just do it off camera. I'm not that worried about it, honestly. So that will take care of our liquid manure. Like I said before, we want to try and take care of the manure. We just haven't done it yet from the pigs, because they produce quite a bit of manure, and it's been full for a few episodes now. I've been a little, what's the word I'm looking for? Lazy, I suppose, when it comes to dealing with that manure. Mainly because it means I need a new trailer, and I don't want to, I didn't want to buy a new trailer just for that. But it seems I'm going to have to, regardless. So, let's head back here. It's funny, I was watching a YouTube video a while back about liquid manure and whatnot, and the guys were talking about how a while ago farmers, none of the farmers around in their area wanted liquid manure at all, and then a couple years later, like every farmer around the area kept asking them about whether they asked if they were selling their liquid manure or not. So they would come by and be like, "Hey, I see you still got that manure there. You interested in selling that sort of idea?" So that's what they would do. It's kind of funny, but that's what was happening to them apparently, because they had liquid manure. Because liquid manure does have quite a bit of nutrients in it that chemicals, or not chemicals, but other types of fertilizer don't. But you tend to have to put those on individually as opposed to all together like liquid manure does have. Alright, so that is our course. Let me just finish that up there. That should be good. And I'm going to say this, call this cell slurry. How about that? And it'll be as a driver helper. And let's see if it works as it's supposed to. Apparently it won't work with courseplay that way, but I guess it'll just sit there and I can do it manually, so that's fine, I guess. Alright, let's go take a quick look at our combine. He's doing well. Looks like he was unloaded once already. So the reason why I have him going north-south instead of east-west on this particular field is because of the trees on the other side. If there weren't the trees, I probably would have him go east-west because it'd be more efficient. But because there are trees there, and I have a feeling he'll run straight into the trees, that's the reason why I have him going this way. And you're just stuck right in here, aren't you? Guess he was going to turn around and didn't have enough space. Oh well. Don't know why he's doing that. There we go. Now you gotta keep an eye on these course play guys, you know. It's hard to get good hired helpers these days, I guess. So, those look like potatoes a little bit. Definitely not potatoes, definitely just oats. Alright, so let's check on our semi here. So he's full, now you should just drive ahead. Excellent. This is good. This is courseplay doing this now, of course. So once we verified that it does function as it's supposed to, what I'll do is I'll start picking up some of those straw bales because they're not going to pick up themselves. It's one of those tasks that courseplay will just not do well, not with those particular bales at least. Like you can do it with other things, like if you use the in-game baler and auto stacker, it's possible, but not with the Heath one, to the best of my knowledge. At least. You probably could, but it would be like you'd probably have to Mickey Mouse it together of some sorts. Alright. Still never found out why they have this window right here in semis. I'm assuming it's just to keep an eye on the road, but so far I haven't had any real reason why you actually would need a window there, but I'll keep an eye out for that. So I do like this truck. It does. The one thing I don't like about it is that sometimes it doesn't work very well with other trailers. So that Quaco trailer, for example, I tried that one. Did not work well with that one very well, which was unfortunate because that was a nice sized trailer. But I don't know if that one actually does sell slurry anyways. So that was the test I was doing. All right, so it makes this turn. Probably a more efficient way to do this, but this will function. Good. Can't check to see the side. Oh, I guess I could look through the back here. But it's a nice little model, but sometimes it doesn't play well with other mods. But you know, I think it's about 80-90% of the time it's perfectly fine. But there are those few mods that just don't like it very much. Alright, tip trigger reached. Let's see if he does what he's supposed to. Excellent. So we made $2 grand-ish? I don't know. We've sold quite a few things already this particular time around, so let's just assume it was $2 grand. So $2 grand for 38,000 liters, so I'm just gonna let him do his thing. Alright, now got our John Deere here. He is hooked up to our trailer already. Let's fire him up. Perfect. Ooh, better just fix the wheel here. Jeez. It would be a bit odd to try and drive a tractor like that. I still haven't figured out why they have this dip in here. So as you can see, I kind of went up like a little ramp at the end there, and I think it's to do with just the way the modder or the person who modded this map, it's just to do with the grass and whatnot and the ground, just so it wouldn't be, or so there wouldn't be ground in, or grass coming through the shed basically. So, all right, let's lower our front loader arms there. Put it in a transport position, or work position, I should say. Sorry. And let's get to work. Now, the one thing I don't like about this particular auto stacker is you do need to be careful when you take right turns, because you will most definitely run into the drawbar there, the drawbar or the tongue, whatever we're gonna call it. It would most definitely run into that. So, and because I can't turn right very easily, I'm just gonna make lots of left turns. If you've ever seen Zoolander before, I think there's a part in that movie where he says, "I turned left." But only if you've seen that movie will that make sense. Otherwise, you'll have no idea what I'm talking about. And you'll think I'm just strange. So, alright. So as long as you're careful, you can make slight right turns, but you don't want to make really sharp right turns, or else you will hit that drawbar, tongue, whatever I call it. There we go. I don't know if I can do this in cab. I probably could. Just need to be a bit more careful about it. It's one of those things where this is what it would look like in your tractor, I suppose. But you probably would just have the throttle set and be driving around. But in terms of efficiency, I'm not sure how efficient this would be. So I need to make sure my tire's on the other side. And there you go. And you're probably like, the speed at which I'm actually driving at and piercing these bales with the spikes there is probably a bit quicker than you would actually want to drive. Well, this particular setup at least. I've seen some other setups that are way more efficient than this one appears to be. How many do we have? Is that full? One more. Do we have another bale over here? I think there's one right there. Yeah, there is. There's this one too. I don't think we can get that one. Let's grab this one over, way over here. So what we're going to do with these bales is, because we have a fair number of straw bales already, we're going to go ahead and... can I take another? Oh, I can take 2 more. Sweet. Thought we was almost full there. Take a nice sharp left turn here and grab that other bale that's way over here. Yeah, so what we're going to do with these straw bales is we're just going to sell them, because we don't actually need the straw bales at all. Not at this point in time, at least. Excellent. There's no more over there. Good. I thought there was one more that I missed, but that must have been the one I just picked up. Also allowed me to turn around doing a little loop-de-loop. Alright, so we'll grab this bale right here. It's funny, because if you actually ever hit that that bar with your tire, it is not pretty in real life. It will definitely mess up your trailer. I've been in an implement before. I think it was a potato picker, and the person who was driving the potato picker actually hit the tongue, or hit the tongue by accident, and it was a very brief. But when you're on the machine, you'll definitely notice it when somebody messes up and takes too sharp of a turn. It'll kick that implement around quite a bit. So I was thinking about getting into potatoes, maybe not on a big field. Like what I was thinking of was, where is it? Taking field 18 and cutting it off right here, and just using this little strip right here for potatoes or sugar beets, just for our pigs, so they're a bit more efficient. That's what I was considering. That would be in lieu of giving them a lot of wheat, which is worth actually in this map. Actually, it's actually worth quite a bit. Sugar beets and potatoes are actually worth quite a bit on this map, which is a bit odd. Like if you compare this to, I think it was a Serbian farm. Like on the Serbian farm, I think potatoes were worth like $50 a ton, and this map it's like $200 a ton. So now let's see if I can back this up in cab without crashing. Because in real life, this is what you would actually do. Actually, in real life, you'd probably have a spotter. Or your mirrors would actually work. That would be the other thing. So that's transport position. Oh, this makes it easier now. You probably wouldn't drive too much with it up like that, because it wouldn't be that level either. And you'd probably be a little worried about things falling. There we go. You need to go back a little further, apparently. Is that all of them? Let's just take a quick little peek. Looks like it is. Excellent. Well, there you go. It's not too bad, actually. Like I said to you before, you would have the mirrors and they would function properly. But of course, not every tractor in Farming Simulator, or every mod I should say, has functioning mirrors, unfortunately. Which makes me a bit sad, because it would be pretty sweet if every tractor had functioning mirrors. You probably, honestly, you probably wouldn't use it that much, because you don't do a lot of work in cab in this game, in comparison to, like, let's say Euro Truck, where everything's in cab basically. I suppose you could play it out of like this in Euro Truck, but it would be really loud and probably not much of a simulator, I guess. Alright, no cars. Let's put it in a transport position here, or work position. Don't know why I keep calling it transport position. Technically, I should probably use it using a different tractor. Usually front loader tractors aren't used for a lot of this stuff, because they're carrying around extra weight. So in terms of efficiency and fuel, they're not usually as efficient on fuel, just because of the front loader on them. But people definitely do it, which I guess I'm an example of it right here. So perfect. Let's wait for our friend there to drive by. I do like that New Holland there. 240 horsepower. It's a nice New Holland. Actually, it's the New Holland that comes with the It's the New Holland that comes with the hydraulics pack, I think it is. So when your hydraulics hook up, like, do I have it on this tractor? No. But, so for example, if I was using, what happened there? Oh, it's because I got out of the tractor, I guess, yeah. That's strange. Didn't like that so much. Got out of the tractor mid picking up the bale, so. Oh, that's not good. That's not good at all. Huh! That's totally stuck on there now. Oh great, abort unloading, there we go. Jeez. I have to keep track of what it actually is now. I don't know what's happening there. That's strange. Oh well, I guess I have to go sell these now. That's what happens when you get out of the tractor mid-lifting up a hay bale, or a straw bale apparently. It's a bit unfortunate, but this is Farming Simulator. If it was real life, you'd probably just get out and probably wiggle the bale a little bit, and it'd be fine, but unfortunately this is Farming Sim, and Farming Sim doesn't function the way real life works. It's close in some cases, but not always. Alright, I don't know where that New Holland is. Is he out there somewhere? Oh, he's out there, that's good. Thought he was stuck somewhere. Now, I'm just going to take a quick peek over here to see. Maybe the John Deere could go east-west here. Looks like he could, maybe. I don't want to push it, though. Alright, so time for selling of bales. This is not as efficient as I wanted it to be, but c'est la vie. It's the French expression for those French people out there. Alright. Did it unload those 2 bales? Yes, it did. Just wasn't backed up far enough, apparently. This is killing me. apparently... Oh, what the heck is it doing? Oh my goodness. Here we go. It's not playing nice, apparently. Just gonna push these bales back here. You wouldn't normally do that, but this mod is acting up a little bit. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna reset the trailer, and hopefully that will fix that silly problem. But you never know. It looks like the hay bale is still attached. Great. Oh, did it disappear? It's hard to tell from this distance, but we're gonna find out in a second. So yeah, lots of little things sometimes, like when you run into situations like this where a hay straw bale gets stuck on the transport wagon, which is a bit odd in itself, and then the fact that it won't. Okay, it looks like it came off good. Well, that's thankful. Or I should say, thankfully it actually worked properly and did reset, and the bale went somewhere, which is good. Didn't know how long I was going to be dealing with that, so. Good. Let's go grab some more straw bales. That was silly. Note to self, don't get out of the tractor when picking up a straw bale. Jeez. Ah, well. It's Farming Simulator, I guess you'll have to... One of those things you'll have to think about. Sorry about that. Just got a drink of water there. Let's go to the center. There seems to be a lot of straw right in the center there. From this angle, at least. Well, there's a few of them. Alright, so, like I said, you probably wouldn't be using a front loader, but it will get the job done. Perfect. That baler's just motoring, jeez. He's moving at a good clip. I think he's doing like 20 kilometers an hour or something like that. Did I get it? Good. Which is pretty darn good. Just gonna get this straw bale. Oh, it's off here in the distance. I should have looked first. That was close. And then this will allow me to do a little U-turn here and pick up the other bales there in a nice orderly fashion, because if I were to try and dive in and out of this these bales with this particular trailer, it does not work well. Just because maneuverability is not one of its strong suits. Because you can't turn right very sharply. But alright. There we go. This is good. It's crazy. If you ever go out, drive along the highways, usually, I think it would be around, let's say, mid-summer, I guess, maybe? Mid to early summer. Basically when winter wheat's done, the farmer's got it off the field. Sometimes you'll see huge stacks of straw with big square bales like this. And basically what they're doing is they just baled up the straw and just left it there because it is just bedding, basically. It's not feed. You can just leave it outside and it'll survive. Also, because of the quantity of straw, sometimes you kind of have to leave it outside because you just don't have anywhere to store it inside. Because you look at this field, like, you think how much straw we have already, and if you were to try and store all this straw inside, you would have to have an enormous building, or, yeah, a lot of tarp, I guess. That technically wouldn't be inside, but it would be covered at least. And it's not always feasible to cover up a whole whack of straw like this. So, I think it's more common out in the prairies to see it, but you do see it in Ontario at least. Like in the prairies, I mean, like Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, because they have, you know, thousands of acres of straw. And some, I don't know, some people I'm sure don't bale it. Some people I'm sure just leave it on the, just chop it up and blow it back on the field. So it really does depend on, where you are located, I guess. I'm not sure what it's like in some of the states, but here in Canada, In Ontario, it happens from time to time, but like I said, it's a bit more common in the prairies. Alright, so let's put this into prepare position, which allows us to see a little bit easier here. Kind of gauge to where it is. There we go. Put it up, drop it down. And I'm going to go here and fill this up, and once it's full, I totally forgot about that truck. Perfect, let's go grab some more straw. So now, like I said, we have this straw on the barley field that we're doing, and we also have the straw on the oat field here that we can bale up as well. So we are going to have a ton of straw all over the place. And the nice thing about picking up the straw like we are right now is we'll be able to seed pretty soon as well. So if I were to actually try and store all this straw, I don't think I'd have enough space on the farm, to be honest with you. That's the other reason why we're not storing it all, because we actually don't have that much space. I did have a mod for a bit that was it was a hay barn mod, a modern hay barn it was called. I suppose I could have used that, but honestly, if it's straw, you don't really need to worry about it. It would be cool if they actually implemented that into this game, for hay, not for straw, of course. But if it would like keep track of the moisture level of bales and stuff like that. That would be pretty cool if they were able to do that. I think it was, I forget what his real name is, but Ayesu, AEYASU, I think it is 69, said in Northern Ireland they primarily don't do big bales because of the moisture content. Oh, I'm going to miss this bale. That's annoying. I'll have to make another pass at it from a different angle, I guess. There we go. We'll go for the bale just past it then. Yeah, so he was saying Northern Ireland they generally don't make big bales of hay because the moisture content in a big bale is just ridiculous to try and keep track of, and to try and make it consistent as well. Like, because if you have one hay bale that has like a very low moisture versus a hay bale that's got a very high moisture, it's not going to be good for your cattle or your livestock because they're going to want a certain moisture level. So sometimes that's one of the reasons why people prefer stuff like baleage and haylage, because you know it's going to be wet and it doesn't make a difference. So it doesn't make as much of a difference, I should say, because you're going to put it into a, you're going to ensile it, I guess would be the correct word, which means to put it into a silo. And then you're going to ferment it and make it into silage, essentially. Alright, let's grab this bale, which is randomly off here. Perfect. We're not in the way. This is good. And that's the plow spec doing that. And I think we have room for one more bale. I don't know, maybe two more, three more. Let's just see. Yeah, so it's kind of interesting how that all works out. But it's too bad it doesn't keep track of moisture levels and whatnot. So for example, like in this game, you can cut hay and bale it in the rain, I believe. Which is a slightly unrealistic, because in real life, you can't do that. Basically, when you're doing when you're doing any kind of hay, you're basically trying to work around the weather. You can't just do it in the weather, which is kind of silly. It's interesting to see what tactics people employ to try and make sure they do their hay in between rain, basically. That's what we have here in Ontario. Well, I think it was, well, any summer really, you have to try and work around the weather and try and make sure it doesn't rain when you do it. I'm sure it's the same way actually in like Ireland and Scotland and places like England too, and Europe I suppose, where they're trying to make do silage for a biogas facility or something like that. Because I believe there are, I believe it's more common out there, and I think the government does encourage you to do silage out there for energy purposes. I'm not 100% on that, mind you, because I don't live in the EU. But if you do live in the EU, let me know about that one. How about that? Because I'm kind of curious if they do encourage farmers to do silage for biogas facilities and whatnot. Alright, let's put it into prepare position. And we are moving along at a good clip here, which is good because it allows us to, like I said before, seed that field and get that done in a nice, timely fashion. Nice. And we are getting a bit of money from this. As I've mentioned before, I wish they kept, I wish they broke down your income into various parts. So it's like hay, or income from straw, income from hay, income from slurry. That would be amazing if they did that. Speaking of slurry, perfect timing. Just go around here and fill our transporter up here. So we still have 470,000 liters of slurry. So it's going to be a while yet. And it looks like our New Holland's done. I'm just going to leave them there for the time being. Because if I start baling this field right here, most definitely it's going to get in the way of our combine and our offloader there. So I'm just going to leave that there for the time being. Excellent. So now that we have 3 fields, it seems like we got lots and lots going on at the same time. So I tend to be, the episodes now tend to be a bit more packed together, like right after the other, as opposed to what was happening before, where I would make an episode, it would be a day or two, make an episode, it would be a day or two, because we only have the 1 field, but now we have 3 fields all at once. So for example, this episode is right after the last episode. I basically haven't done anything off camera, which is nice, so you guys get to see quite a bit actually. And if it's possible, I do try and do a lot of it on camera, but I don't make it all on camera because that would just be, I try and make it as enjoyable as possible, and I realize some of you are actually farmers and whatnot, so, which is kind of cool, because then you guys can add your 2 cents in there and knowledge, because there's a lot more knowledge that you guys have than I have when it comes to this type of stuff, which is awesome. I do appreciate it, which is good. I finally hopped on TeamSpeak. I think it's the Fad Man's TeamSpeak, which is pretty cool. I haven't been on TeamSpeak in a while, not since the early days of, well, for me I guess it would have been when I played World of Warcraft a little bit, or when I played EVE Online a little bit. Those would be the days when I had TeamSpeak, and I think actually when I played EVE Online, they actually switched. They were using TeamSpeak for a while, and then they switched over to something called Mumble, which was a bit better for us because unlike EVE Online, unlike WoW, I should say, World of Warcraft, or other multiplayer games, in EVE Online, it's usually not just 5 or 6 people. In EVE Online, when you have a big battle, it was crazy. It wasn't just, you know, 10 people, 40 people. It was like hundreds of people. That just gives you an idea of the magnitude of EVE. It was, if you were able to get on those types of ops, it was pretty darn good. I'll resist using I almost not used a curse word, but I almost use a word I wouldn't normally use. Let's just say that. It was pretty amazing. Let's just say that, because the coordination that was required for these types of things was just ridiculous. Like trying to organize, you know, 40 people was hard enough in World of Warcraft, but trying to organize 100 or 200 or 300 people became an exercise in patience for some people. Alright, so we still got some straw over on that side, so we need to deal with that soon enough. Also, I'm going to show you something I noticed the other day, and maybe you guys have noticed it too. I don't know, I have no idea what exactly it is. I'm going to show you. Maybe some of you have noticed it already. Check that out. I have no idea what that is. I think maybe it used to be something that was in this location and it was removed. But something of that is still around, and what's even funnier, it actually has a little has a shadow. So yeah, No idea what that is. But I noticed it a while back, so thought I'd show you guys. So, whoever created this map, if you are watching, there's that right there. And maybe that's because I removed the fences, I don't know. It very well could be, so keep that in mind. But a lot of people have been asking how to remove the fences on this particular map. Here's the answer I have given most people who have done it or who have asked me. I basically unpacked this map and I opened up the i3D file in Giants Editor, and on the left hand side there's a drop down menu, and on the left hand side there's one of the drop down menus is called Field Edge, I think it's called, or Fence Field Edge, something along those lines. I basically just deleted that, so that deletes all the fences in the game, or in this map, that are around fields. So if you're wondering how to do it, that's how you do it. However, I do encourage you to play with the fences, because this map is a gorgeous map with the fences on it. Because that's the way it would be in real life. And I understand that's the way it would be in real life. Just for my particular playstyle, it didn't work out for me. It would have been a lot of patience. I would have needed a considerable larger amount of patience than I normally have to play with the fences. So that's the reason why I didn't keep the fences in there, because it would have been rather interesting, for me at least. Maybe the next map I pick up will be a smaller map and it will have fences and I'll have to worry about that type of thing, but we will see. Some people suggested that I play I think it's the South Dakota map, East River map. Some people suggested I play that one, I think. I think I've looked at that map before, and I don't remember much about it, so I'll have to go and take another look at it. I think it's actually by the same people who made this map, the American Eagle modding guys. So, also, before I forget, some people have suggested that I make shorter episodes. I can definitely do that. You just won't see much on camera if I do that. One of the thoughts I had was, if you do want to see shorter episodes, like 20 minutes, something along those lines, what I can do is, instead of releasing a full episode every single day, I can release parts of episodes. So like part 1 would be, let's say, today, part 2 tomorrow, part 3 would be the following day. But it would all be one episode, but broken up into 3 different parts. That would extend your season by quite a long margin. So like, for example, right now I think it's been like at least a 30-minute episode already. So I'm going to break this up. I would break it into probably 2 50-minute parts. So it'd be 2 episodes, or 2 parts of 1 episode. So that's definitely a possibility. And if you guys are interested in that, let me know. But it will create some pretty long chunks. So it'd be like, 1 episode might be 3 parts or 2 parts, depending on how long I play for. So I prefer to play in longer chunks as opposed to shorter ones. Maybe what I'll do in the future is I'll have have 1 map where there's short episodes of like 20 minutes on a smaller map, and then for those people who want those types of episodes, and then on another map like this type of map where it's a bigger map, I'll do the longer ones. So, and then for the smaller map in that scenario, what I would do is I wouldn't really, how did I not get that one? For the smaller map, I basically would keep everything on camera. Nothing would be off camera in that scenario. Fine, don't pick up. Jeez. So like on the smaller map, everything would be on camera basically, because it would be a small map and really wouldn't make a difference in that scenario. How many do we got there? We got another 2 rows, it looks like. So let me know what you guys think about that. So big map, longer episodes, small map, smaller episodes, and maybe at the same time. So have 2 maps going at the same time, something like that. Just a thought. We'll see. So that would mean, I guess, in that scenario, you'd get 2 episodes a day instead of 1 episode a day, but it'd be 1 long, 1 short episode. Something along those lines. Let me know what you guys think. Is that the last bale? Really? Is that going to be a... Oh, Oh, that's awesome if that is a last bale. I think there's some other ones I missed still. Perfect. Alright, so let's put it in a transport position and just take a cruise around the map to make sure we have indeed got all the bales of hay, or hay. Why do I keep doing that? I know what hay and I know what straw is. The bales of straw, to make sure I've gotten all the straw. If you are wondering what the difference between hay and straw is, well, let me tell you in a second while I get a drink of water. Or before I get a drink of water, I should say. Actually, no, that makes no sense. After I get a drink of water. There we go. Straw, basically, is the stalks of wheat or barley or oats. Is that not in transport position? No, apparently it's not. That's basically what it is. Generally, it's not something animals would eat, although some animals will eat it, even though it's not really that healthy or that good for them by any means. And hay is basically grass. I'll put it that way. It's basically grass that's grown. It's usually a combination of things like, for example, in real life it would be like alfalfa, fescue grass, clover, combinations of those things. So depending on what you can grow in your area, like dairy farmers, for example, want alfalfa for the most part because it's good for production of milk, if I remember correctly. I think that's all the bales. That's awesome. Oh, there we go. One last bale. Totally missed it. Am I gonna not hit that? Good. Yeah, so that's what hay would be. It'd be a combination of different types of grasses or other things. So depending on what type of livestock you're catering to would dictate what you would put in your hay mix, basically. That's awesome. Is that full load? That is a full load indeed. That is sweet. Why can't it always be like that? I'm just going to do one last check around the perimeter, just in case. Because when you start seeding a field and there's a bale on the field, it's not fun, so. I don't know why, but every single time the seeder misses this little chunk right here. No idea. Must be the way it's set up. I'm not that worried about it, to be honest with you. I don't see any more bales of straw, which is good. So yeah, that's the primary difference between straw and hay. Hay is basically grass. Animals eat it for nutritional value. Straw is stalks of plants, usually used for bedding in a lot of cases. So like if you live in Canada, for example, you would use probably quite a bit of straw, especially in the winter, to help as an insulation for the animals. So, all right, beauty. That's good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start up our case. So I'm just going to drive down the side of the road here. I am going to start up the case seeding this field. That field over there, field 8, I think it is, or field 7. It's currently seeded in soybeans. And this field, I think, could do canola. Canola, wheat, barley. Not going to plant it as grass because we've got a good field over here worth of grass. Oats. As I drive the case over there, I'll decide. That's what I'm going to do. Alright, let's go over here. Fire up the case. So eventually, what we are going to do is we're going to replace this case seeder and this anhydrous tank with something else, with a big Case IH precision seeder, because that was one of the goals we were working towards. Oats, soybeans, wheat, barley, canola, corn. I don't want to do corn. So we have enough silage, and that corn header is funny, so I don't want to use it. We did barley in that field. So let's do canola, I think. Well, we did canola not too long ago, didn't we? Could do oats. Yeah, let's just do canola. There's no straw involved, so we'll have lots of straw after this episode. That's for sure. What is he at? No, we don't need him on that course. We need him on 13 seed 11.5 at the first waypoint. doing canola. So I'm gonna move our New Holland out of the way here. And because he is totally gonna be in the way right here. And we're going to drive him over to our field over here. Field 17, I think it is. The field we just picked up last episode. Where are we here? We're going to use that course because that's, of course, the same course as the Combine. And we're going to have to bail up that oat straw over there. I don't know if... I haven't, honestly... like, for example, I don't know much about straw. I don't know much about straw. Oh my goodness. Mixing up my words. I don't know much about oats. But I do know you can bale oats at a very high moisture value and use it as feed for your animals. I know for a fact because my sister-in-law... Whoa, what the heck was that? My sister-in-law actually did that this past year. They had, I think it was an oat, pea, something else mix, I think is what it was. Barley? Is that what it was, Julie? Yeah, barley. So that was my girlfriend. It was a barley mix. And they actually baled it up and turned it into baleage because they have a wrapper. Which is cool. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to end the episode there. Looks like our oats are almost fully harvested. This is good. I like to see this. Let's just verify. See how much more he's got to do there. Quite, not that much actually. Maybe less than a third, less than a quarter or something like that. Yeah, it's a bit left still. Alright, so we're going to end the episode there. And what I'm going to do is I will come back when this field is fully harvested. And we'll check to see how many oats, how much oats, or how many oats, I'm not sure how you'd say that. How many liters of oats we actually got in the end. Let's check right now to see how many we're at. So oats, we're at 79,000 liters of oats. Interesting. From all that. That's a bit curious actually. Anyways, I'll come back when these oats are finished. They're finished harvesting, and what we'll do is we'll bale up these oats right here, the oat straw, and we'll go on from there. So my name is Ian Robson. This has been Farming Simulator 2013, and I'll come back at you in not too long actually. It'll probably be about, my time it'll be 20 minutes, and your time it'll be probably a day. Anyways, catch you guys later.